Never sleep on whiteness and wealth. And these billionaires, oh, these lovely billionaires, just doing a great job of PR, promoting their billionaire class recently. I mean, just Bill Ackman going ham on Twitter and losing his mind in his quest to destroy any dissent against Israel, went against Claudine Gay, got her to resign from Harvard, and oh, look what happened. He accused her of plagiarism, and guess who also is allegedly a plagiarist? His wife. And then he has lost his shit for the past 2 weeks. And then there's another billionaire, Jamie Dimon of JP Morgan, who's at Davos, where, the lovely billionaires, get together and talk about how to spend their wealth to uplift humanity and, regulate corrupt industries and fix the climate. Oh, I'm sorry. I was high on the weed that I don't smoke. Here is a quote. And we're going to talk about everything. We're talking about Iowa because it's all connected. This is what Jamie Dimon said today. Quote, I don't like how Trump said things, but he wasn't wrong about those critical issues. Specifically, he's talking about China, immigration, and the economy. Continuing the quote, that's why they're voting for him. People should be more respectful of our fellow citizens. I think this negative talk about MAGA will hurt Biden's campaign. Danielle.
You sent this to me because I don't spend a lot of time on X. So God bless you for continuing to spend your time on broke down Twitter. But when I listened to it, I played it twice because it's the audacity for me, Waj. Like, it is the audacity of this very wealthy, very privileged white man to sit up on this very wealthy, very privileged network to say to the rest of us, whom, by the way, Trump's fascist policies on immigration, on blocking Muslims from entering the country, on not letting in Black people from those shithole countries, on, passing, on let alone having the 3 Supreme Court justices that he appointed to the bench overturn Roe v. Wade. None of these are going to affect Jamie Dimon. They're not going to affect this wealthy, white, privileged man. So when he says, I don't like how Trump said things, Trump didn't just say things. He was president of the United States for 4 years. And during that time, he gave billionaires like Jamie Dimon huge tax cuts. He told did
it help the economy, those tax cuts, Danielle?
No, I don't believe it did.
Nope.
I don't believe that it helped the economy. I believe that during that time, he put children in cages and then sent Department of Justice attorneys to go sit in front of a 3-panel judge circuit to tell them what? Oh, that they don't need to provide soap and toothpaste and toothbrushes. I guess that sits well with Jamie Dimon. Then he put children in cages where parents had to use Sharpies to write their names and their phone numbers on their arms. And by the way, those children still, not all of them reunited with their families, right? So he told us that there were good people on both sides as white men marched down a street in Charlottesville, killing an activist by running over her and saying Jews will not replace us. Those were the not so nice things that Jamie Dimon, I didn't agree with, but he was right about some things. So when he was right about immigration, was it calling Mexicans rapists and murderers? Was it saying that they should be shot before they cross the border? I'm confused. And so when I listen to these people and not a fucking reporter on that platform
CNBC
said, not on CNBC, said, Jamie, hold up 1 second. Let me just run some tape. I got a producer in my ear real quick. Let me just run some tape of recent statements that Donald Trump made. Are you okay with this? No.
And the funny thing is even on the 3 issues, Trump was a failure. So on immigration, this dumbass wanted to build a wall, promised his cult-like followers that Mexico would pay for it. Mexico didn't pay for shit. The wall was never built. And then he also, I don't know if you remember this, he proposed building a moat filled with alligators and then having Border Patrol shoot migrants in the leg. People forget that, right? So he failed on immigration. On the economy, I'm old enough to remember that those tax cuts made the rich people more rich, Nothing trickled down except pain and suffering. And now our next generation has to pay off that debt. And also, he lied about the devastating effects of COVID, even though he knew it was devastating, but he wanted to open it all up. Remember that? He wanted to open up in the spring just before the election to help him. But the economy tanked because of him. And last time I checked, China is not in any way deterred. Why should they be? Because they know it's a pay-for-play presidency. If you just go to his stupid, crappy hotels, if you give his kids some endorsement deals, hey, he'll be your poodle. He was Trump's poodle. He's Saudi Arabia's poodle. So last time I checked, China didn't in any way, shape, or form feel threatened by him. In fact, didn't China give patents to Ivanka Trump, his daughter, who for some strange reason was in the White House guiding policy with Jared, even though they didn't have security clearance? So in even those three aspects, he was a failure, Danielle, right? I just want to set the facts straight. No one checked him on that. Right? You could just check him on that. Well, what did he do on immigration in China and the economy except be a failure? But the thing that really pisses me off is that they are showing who they are. And what they're showing is we're fine with a dictator, a tyrant, a man who incited an insurrection, as long as it helps our bottom line and as long as it helps us and our billionaire class feel comfortable. What they're really saying is, listen, darkies and poor people, stay in your lane. Stay in your place. Swallow your anger. Stop complaining. The pain and the economic anxiety of the preferred right American from the heartland who drinks real coffee from the Rust Belt takes precedence forever over your actual pain and suffering and marginalizations. Think about the feelings of the people who are calling you vermin and accusing you of replacing the real Americans and want a Muslim ban and are taking away the rights of women and call Mexicans rapists. Won't you think about their feelings? You're making them uncomfortable. And that's what we're dealing with. We're dealing with white supremacy and wealth. And the sad part is all the folks who think that Jamie Dimon and Donald Trump speak for them, because Jamie Dimon and Donald Trump are rich white men. They are privileged. They have been given golden spoons in their mouth. They're protected with wealth, with whiteness, with celebrity. Nothing will ever happen to them. These poor white folks think that these people actually care about them. That's one of those things where you sit there and you drink your tea and you lift up your pinky and you go, oh, poor MAGA. I feel for you. Oh, this is such an easy con to spot. And they just keep conning you because they keep playing into your white rage and your economic anxiety. It's part of the Southern strategy. And what we're seeing with Jamie Dimon doing is he's saying, okay, Trump might win. So if Trump might win, I got to look out for my bottom line and my billionaire class's dollar line. Let me throw him a life raft. And you know what? The country might go to hell, but at least we'll be okay. And I want to remind people, the billionaire class, those who are wealthy, the people of industry, those who are educated, they thought the same thing during Nazi Germany. Hey, it's just business. Hey, the roads got to get paved. Hey, money's got to be made. I'm going to be neutral. I'll be okay. I'm not going to ruffle the feathers. And if I'm okay, they won't come after me until they did.
You know what I find about this rundown too is that Jamie Dimon sat up there with these other white, wealthy, privileged people on CNBC. And on the day after, Donald Trump is in court to figure out how much money he's going to have to pay for the woman that he raped, right? Because he continues to defame her.
Sexual assault and defamation.
And defamation, where he was found guilty of both of those things.
Found liable in civil court.
In civil court, paid out, was told to pay, $5 million? $5 million. Then turned around, went right on CNN, and continued on with the same line of lying and defaming her character. So,
in breaking news, Danielle, the judge in the case in New York threatened to throw Donald Trump out of his defamation trial after he made comments the jury could hear. And Donald Trump said, I would love it. New York Times, just an hour ago. Breaking news.
And I said, here's the thing that I say to these judges. Please stop with your bullshit, empty threats. This motherfucker should be in jail. And you all know good goddamn well that he should be in jail. for the threats that he has made, for the things that he has said, for the danger that he has caused, and the danger that he's put people in, right? He should be in jail, but he's not. So stop with the empty threats as if you don't know what the fuck Donald Trump is doing when he's speaking out loud in a courtroom in front of a jury. And then you're going to turn around and tell the jury, dismiss it. So then his attorneys can turn back around and say, well, the jury was discriminating against him and we need to appeal this. And then it goes on and on and on and on and on.
Can we do a compare and contrast? Last week, did you see that amazing video of the black man who did this high jump and like WWF attacked the judge, like literally just leapt over and attacked the judge? And then did you see what happened when he appeared in court 2 days later, like Hannibal Lecter? Right. Yeah. And meanwhile, Donald Trump is literally sicking his mob against this judge and against people in that courtroom. They literally have threats against their lives. He's openly agitating violence against these folks. He's openly agitating the court, holding himself in contempt. And what happens? Now, Donald. Now. But that other dude, who I have to give him props, that jump was amazing. Like, he should be in the Olympics. Thankfully, the judge wasn't hurt. If you haven't seen that video, see that video.
It's wild.
But look what happened. Like, they literally brought him out like Hannibal Lecter. They put a mask on him. He was muzzled up, muffled.
But that's what you do to quote unquote dangerous black people, right? But Donald Trump's threat and danger isn't just to the one judge that is sitting before him. It's to every election worker. It's to every official that comes out against him. It's to the clerks. It's to the stenographers. It's to everybody that is in Donald Trump's sphere, right? And so all we do is sit around and wait for somebody to get killed. You had, we saw, what did they do after former Speaker Pelosi's husband is bashed in the head with a hammer and it's taken months to recover? They made jokes. Why did that man break into the house? Because he was looking for Nancy Pelosi, who Donald Trump told him, right, was the bane of his existence and to go and get. So I'm just, I look at this and the audacity of this man, Jamie Dimon, to say what he said and then to have not one goddamn supposed reporter on that platform say, you know what, actually, let us pause for a minute because didn't Donald Trump just refer to his political opponents as vermin? Didn't Donald Trump just say that he was going to be a dictator on day one? How does that sit with you? Didn't Donald Trump wasn't he just found guilty of sexual assault and defamation? Right? Like, how does that sit with you? Ask these people the follow-up goddamn questions.